like Hi beauties, welcome back, or welcome if it's your first time. I'm gonna try to keep this intro as short as possible. Famous last words, I know, but I wanted to sit down and do a declutter really quickly, kind of like a collection slash declutter of my eyeshadow palettes. I feel like inevitably declutters sort of become collection videos, so why not? It's been at least a year, I think a year and a half since my last declutter, and I just feel ready. I mean, as I have said repeatedly, my makeup tastes have changed in the last year or so, and I never want to promise a certain percentage of declutter because I don't know that that's realistic for me. I'm not interested in having like a minimalist makeup collection, so there are going to be things that I'm just not ready to part with yet, and that's okay. So let's just get into it. But I do, like I said, I do feel like there are things that I am ready to get rid of. So this is really in no particular order. I don't believe any of these palettes I have organized by brand, so we're just gonna jump in. Okay, sorry, I felt like I needed to readjust. Let's just, I'm just gonna pick what's in front of me. I'm gonna start with this is the only Odin's Eye palette I have. This was their collab with Tina, the Fancy Face, the Hummingbird palette. You guys, I bought this because I wanted to support Tina. I love her. I've never used this. I'm just gonna be honest with you. I have never used this palette, but I hear nothing but good things about Odin's Eye formula, and I'm just not ready to get rid of it yet. Like, I want to use this, so it's staying, even though I haven't used it yet. I have the Give Me Glow Vivid Rose. I'm so torn on this one. I've only used this a couple times since I've got it. If you've been here, you kind of know I allude to this all the time, but like pinks aren't really, they're not really what I go for in terms of eyeshadows. It's rare that I wear a pink look, but these shimmers are out of this world. Like, Give Me Glow shimmers are some of my favorites. What I might do, and I actually love these mattes too. I love these like more cool toned mauvey pink mattes. I really think I might depot some of these. Let me know, have you ever depotted a Give Me Glow palette? Is it easy? I'm not a master depotter, so I'm afraid I might just like fuck up and ruin the whole palette, which I don't really want to do, but I really do want to save some of those shimmers, and I have a palette full of Give Me Glow and some JD Glow singles, so otherwise, if I can't depot these, I do think I'm gonna get rid of this. It's just, I bought this, full disclosure, I didn't even really want this palette. I bought it because what I really wanted was, let me find it, was this. I really wanted the Vintage Rose, and they didn't have it in stock. So I was like, oh, let me try the Vivid Rose. And it's just, it's not what I wanted, but this palette I love. This was just in my Shop My Stash a couple rotations ago, but I love it. I absolutely love every look I've ever gotten with this. Like I said, the Give Me Glow shimmers are fantastic, so that's staying. This will come as no surprise to you, my Pat McGrath Celestial Divinity. This was holiday 2020. Like, she's absolutely staying. This is probably my favorite Pat McGrath palette that I own, and I never want to not have that. My Patrick Ta, the Major Dimension 2 palette. You know, I do like this, okay? You know that I love, 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 love rose golds. This is stunning. I do feel like with these mattes, they're beautiful, no issue with formula, but I do feel like they show up a little bit darker on me than what is in the pan. So like that kind of throws me a little bit, but I do love it. I've had no issues with it. I've enjoyed using it. I haven't used it enough. Okay, that's kind of like the theme here with my makeup, is I don't get to use things that much or as much as I would like to, just because that's the nature of it when you have a big collection, which is also kind of why I want to whittle it down a little bit. Okay, so I have this is one of the only BH cosmetic palettes that I have left. Okay, that's a lie. Now that I think about it, I think I still have like four or five. So scratch that. I always forget. I forget that I have the Sweet Shop palettes. Anyway, so this is the BFF palette. I adore this palette. I really do. It's a little bit more pans than what I would like. I don't know. It's 20 pans. That's kind of big for me and my usage. But I really like this. Again, I don't use it as much as I would like, but when I do use it, I absolutely love the BH formula, and I love every look that I've gotten with this, so I'm not ready to get rid of it. A couple that I do think I am finally ready to get rid of, and I know these are the only two Juvia's Place palettes I have left. I have decluttered all my other ones. I think I'm ready to get rid of this. This is the Warrior. Super warm toned, like beautiful, beautiful, beautiful neutral palette. I used this palette just this last week for this reason, because I knew that I was like ready to get rid of some things. And I mean, I'm not gonna lie, I loved my look. I loved the way everything turned out, but I just don't know that it's like special enough to keep. And if I'm being honest, I just don't know if I'll ever really understand the like hysteria around Juvia's Place palettes. Not so much anymore, but there was a time where people were just going crazy, and I'm not like a collector of makeup, I would say, so maybe that's why I didn't get it. Like, I don't know. Their formula's okay. I've never had an issue with their formula. It's a good formula. It's not fantastic. It's not the best formula ever. I don't know. Like, I don't get all the madness there was, but I'm ready to get rid of that. I have browns and golds and neutrals dozens of times over, okay? And then I think I'm finally ready to get rid of this too, the Magic Mini. I mean, it's so pretty, and I'm not going to start swatching things, otherwise I'm likely to change my mind. But I mean, this is beautiful. It is a beautiful palette, okay? It's lovely jewel tones. It only has a few mattes. Again, no issue with formula. Their mattes work fine. I think my issue with this palette is, like, even now as I look at it, it just feels kind of limiting. I mean, unless you just want to do like a single shadow look, like a single bold shadow all across your lid, then this palette is perfect for that. But the amount of times that I do that, it's just not worth it in my collection. So I'm officially getting rid of my last two Juvia's Place palettes. Okay, sorry. I actually have breakfast on the stove. Hopefully you can't hear it. I have bacon going, but I'm hungry, you guys, okay? This is real life. I'm trying to multitask, and my time is limited here at home alone, so I have to film when I can, okay? My last Give Me Glow palette that I have, which I will also be keeping, is my Christmas Morning. I mean, this is just stunning. Absolutely stunning. I can't wait to use this. I get excited every time I look at this palette. It's just beautiful. How can you not? I love it. And the thing that I love about Give Me Glow palettes is I just love the way they're set up. Like, it just makes sense in my mind to have palettes set up like this. I love that there is like a shimmer and sort of a corresponding matte, okay? If you are not good with putting together looks, just grab the matte and throw a shimmer on top. Grab the matte, put the matching shimmer on top. It's so foolproof almost, and it's going to be beautiful. That's what I love about Give Me Glow. I'm definitely keeping that palette. Just reaching in front of me, I have, this is my only EXO beauty palette. This is Shan EXO's brand, who I absolutely love. Shan EXO is probably one of like the first YouTubers that I started watching 12 years ago, or however long I've been watching YouTube. It's been so long. And I just really, I think this palette came out last year, either late 2020 or 2021. I don't remember, but I got it last year. And I love it. It's called the Native palette, and I've loved every look I've gotten. I mean, a lot of these mattes are pretty subdued. Like, these actually come off lighter to me than what they look like in the palette. A lot of these shimmers are like, they're not the most impactful. A lot of them are more sort of like toppery shades, but this shade right here is so pretty, and I don't know how well it's gonna read on camera, but again, it's kind of, I just have to show you this shade. It's kind of a toppery shade, but there's just a beautiful like green, gold, brown flip to it. I love it. I'm keeping this. Again, I don't use it as much as I would like to, but I love Shan EXO. I love the packaging on this. And like I said, I have loved the looks I've gotten with it. I have my BH Blueberry Muffin palette. Okay, I'm very torn on this palette. Okay, let me collect my thoughts. So I don't really reach for blue eyeshadow, hardly ever. However, if I did want a blue look, these would be the tones that I would like, sort of like the periwinkles or bluish purple tones. I'm not so much into like just the really bold cobalt blues, true blues, sky blues, like pastels. That's not really my thing. So if I wanted blue, I could see myself reaching for this, but the amount of times that I have wanted a blue look in the last year has been like exactly 0. So I don't know, like, I don't know what to do with this. Like I said, I love BH's formula. I bought this palette. These palettes came out in 2020, okay? Same year I started my channel, same year like I started making all of my friends here on YouTube. And so this palette just kind of like reminds me of that time. And I hate keeping palettes for nostalgic reasons or like for emotional reasons. I don't know what to do with this. Okay, I'm gonna set it to the side for now. I have my NARS Summer Unrated palette. I'm definitely keeping this. I really don't have too many NARS shadows. I have this and one other palette, and I love them. I absolutely think the NARS formula is great, no issues. I love the shimmers. I love the different textures of shimmers. I love it. And I'm just gonna grab my other NARS one since I'm here. I have the Summer Solstice. This was the release this year. Just a smaller 9-pan, again, very, very warm leaning, but I love it. I'm keeping it. I have a couple quads here. I have a quad from my friend DJ, you guys, and I know I talk about her a lot, but she's just so great. She's so great. Just Peachy D, I believe is her channel name. Forgive me, she may have changed it, but I'm pretty sure it's still just Peachy D. And she has a makeup shop. She sells makeup, body butters, lip glosses. I mean, she sells brushes. Some of my favorite makeup brushes I've bought from her. But I love this quad. I really do. I think it's just such a perfectly little curated like fall quad. I think this would even work in the summer, honestly. I think like these shades would be beautiful in the summer, even this red, but I'm not ready to get rid of this yet. I have my Pat McGrath. This is one of the Celestial Divinity Luxe Quads in Interstellar Icon. Y'all, This is like one of my favorite color stories that I own. I mean, this quad is gorgeous. Every look I've ever gotten with this, I have loved. And I know that there's not a whole lot of things that you can do with this quad. I mean, there's only so much you can do with 4 shadows, but it's stunning. Not going anywhere. I have the Lorac Pro palette in Fairy Tale Forest. You guys, this is another one that I am ashamed to admit. I think I've only used once since I got it. I got this probably a year ago. I don't know. I saw Lauren May Beauty do a video on all these Lorac palettes, and quite frankly, I wanted them all, but this one kind of spoke to me the most. I love Lorac's formula. I really do. So years and years ago, like 10 years ago, I had the original Lorac palette. I think I've actually bought 2 of those in the past because I have panned almost an entire one. It was like all I wore. I love the Lorac formula. So it's been years since I tried it. I wanted to try it again. It's still beautiful. I've seen some people swatch this next to the Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes, and it's shockingly similar. So keep this in mind, but I'm definitely keeping this. Not ready to get rid of that. One that I think I might be ready to get rid of is this Nabla Dreamy 2. This is the only Nabla shadow that I have left. Oh, okay, as I'm looking at it, I don't know. I don't know, I'm gonna try not to change my mind, so I'm definitely not gonna stick my fingers in there and swatch, but I will tell you this, one of the things that I love about Nabla's formulas is that, first of all, their mattes are beautiful, just beautiful, but again, like, I appreciate so much different textures in a palette. I just think that it really elevates a look to have different textures, and Nabla does that. I love that they offer that with their shimmers. It's got a really beautiful, you know, legit mirror here, but I just don't use it. I don't even think about it. I mean, I don't know. I love the packaging, like how cute. I like Nabla as a brand, but yeah, I don't use it. I don't use it. I just don't. It has to go. Okay, this is a no-brainer. My Patrick Ta Major Dimension Volume 1 is absolutely staying. Okay, I need to pick up the pace. I'm not even halfway through my first drawer here. Okay, a few that I do actually have stacked together in here that I know I'm gonna be keeping. I'm just not ready to get rid of them yet. My Pat McGrath, okay. I have Bronze Seduction. Love her. I mean, the special shades in this palette are beyond, so I'm keeping. I have the Divine Rose 2, which I also love. I love the special shades in this. I don't use these palettes enough, you guys. I mean, my God, as I'm looking at this, like, this is fucking gorgeous. And I don't use it enough. It's such a shame. Okay, the one that I could like maybe see myself getting rid of, but I'm not going to, is my Decadence palette. It's like her all shimmer palette. Ooh, no, I couldn't get rid of it. No, it's too pretty. I can't. Another one that's definitely staying is the Vanity Makeup. This is the Signature palette. I love this palette. Oh my God. It's gorgeous. I got a great deal on this. I got like $25 off. This is a very expensive palette. Okay, this palette is almost $100. I knew there was no way in hell I was gonna pay that price. So I just waited for a sale. But I love it. I absolutely love it. The mattes are beautiful. These shimmers are, again, there's different textures in here, which I love, but especially these 3, right here. They're those shimmers that I always talk about that I love, that just like make your eyelids look wet and glassy, and we love that over here. Another one that I'm definitely keeping is my Cliona Dragon Fruit palette. This was their collab with Emily Violet Marie, who I have no idea who she is. And I'm so sorry, but I just have no clue. But this, ooh, doesn't stay open very well, but this is beautiful. This truly, I feel like, is almost all I would need for a colorful palette. And she's staying. I love all these formulas. They have formulas in here that work like mattes. They have these beautiful like multi-chrome shadows. I mean, I have really enjoyed using that palette. And as I've said, I have not been much of like a color girl this last year, but that's beautiful. Okay, you guys, this palette, I have so many emotions about this palette. Okay, so this came out fall of 2020. Again, it was like right when I started my channel, so many emotions at that time, you know, pandemic, quarantine. I bought one of these for me, and I bought one for my friend Chelsea, who lives in the UK, and I had it sent to her. I mean, I know that you know what this looks like, okay? The whole debacle of this palette, y'all, I ordered this palette in like October of 2020. I legit did not get it until like June of 2021. That's wild. Like, I feel like that's wild even for an indie brand. That's wild. And to be honest with you, like, I love Betty Jean. I do. I like her. I like her content, but I don't think the formula is great in this palette. I really don't. It's an absolutely, like, undeniably unique color story. I don't have anything like this, but I also don't know that I need anything like this. I truly do think that like this just doesn't serve a purpose in my collection anymore. I think that my daughters will love to use this. I think they'll be over the moon about this. So I just gotta let it go. I don't know. I just don't love it. I waited 8 months for it and I just don't love it. And I don't like that. My Doll Squad palette, this is so underrated. This is so underrated. This Doll 10 Doll Squad palette, beautiful. It reminds me of the Ethereal Eyes a little bit. I haven't swatched them next to each other, but this is stunning. This formula is beautiful. These mattes are like silk, like butter, like the softest things you've ever felt. They blend so beautifully. These shimmers are creamy, they're impactful. I mean, I can't recommend this enough if you can get your hands on Doll 10. Okay, another two that I'm definitely keeping are both of my Vive palettes. I know she has another one that just came out, like her cool toned 90s one. I have the original, the Essential palette. I love both of these palettes. The mattes are so incredibly beautiful. I even really like the shimmers. I know that the shimmers are like what people had an issue with. I have her Muse palette. Stunning, 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 stunner. I'm keeping it. I love them. I love Jamie Genevieve, and she's pregnant now. I have my Revlon Quad in Slight Flex. I really like this, okay? I really do. I think that it's beautiful for what it is. It's not, I guess it could be a standalone palette. I was gonna say it's not a standalone palette, but I actually have used it in that capacity many times. I just don't know that I need it. I mean, I would absolutely recommend these. I think they're so well done. I just don't think it like holds a special place in my collection. I'm definitely keeping my Natasha Denona Mini Zendo. Love it. I've gotten such good use out of this. Beautiful, beautiful formula. I'm going to be keeping all of my Natasha Denona. I have 4. I'll just show you very quickly. This is my absolute favorite, my dream palette. This is so me. Just very me. Love it. I love Natasha's formula. I know it's polarizing. This is the Retro palette, another one of my favorites. Zendo, not my favorite. I mean, admittedly, not my favorite. I don't mind the color story. I just haven't had as much fun using that as the other ones. And then my Glam palette. I need to use this more. I have got to use this more. I don't use this enough, and it's so beautiful. My only Huda Beauty palette, the Retrograde, Mercury Retrograde. I love this palette. I love it. I used this quite a bit when I first got it. I've filmed with it on my channel several times. I really do love every look that I've gotten from this. I can tell that my son has had his fingers in here. Yeah, I've loved every look. This is another one of those cases where I do feel like the mattes in this palette come off like a little bit darker on me than what they appear in the pan. But that's okay. We can work with that. But it's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. I love the formula. Like I said, this is my only Huda palette, and it's been a really good experience so far. My Midas Cosmetics Smoky Glow. You guys, oh, that shade just fell out. I'm not ready to get rid of this. I don't know that I'll ever be ready to get rid of this. I love Hannah so much. Again, she is somebody that I found in 2020. 2020 was like the year of discovering new content creators for me. And so a lot of, I don't know what I thought would happen holding it that way. I'm just gonna hold this in my hand, but I have loved using this palette. This palette is beautiful. All the formulas in here are beautiful. I'm not ready to get rid of it. I'm not. And I love Hannah. Hannah just posted a new video last week, and I love to see her back, even though she's really going through some shit right now, but I love her and I will always support her. Never getting rid of this. Sydney Grace, Tiny Marbles, collab with Mel Thompson. Like, you already know, this palette is everything. This palette will never not be in my collection. The formula is one of the best formulas that I have ever tried in my life, in my makeup life. It's gorgeous. This color story is different. It makes sense to me. I love it. It's easy for me to put looks together. Everything works together here, and it's just the best. I don't know why this is in here. I have a face palette in here, the Natasha Denona Diamond and Blush. I guess I'll show it to you, but I'm keeping it. Probably just because it's huge and I don't know where else to put it. Okay, last one in this drawer is the Melt Mary Jane. I'm also keeping this. I have not used this enough, okay, like I said. But I'm not ready to get rid of it either. This is my only Melt palette. I loved this palette. I loved this palette. And I know, again, it was one that got like really kind of mixed reviews. I feel like Melt shadows in general kind of get mixed reviews. It's like you either love it or you don't. And I loved that palette. So let's move on to my other drawer. Okay, moving right along. You guys, I want to just take a quick second and say, I apologize if like this style of declutter isn't what you prefer. I know that a lot of people do the overheads. I can't find my little overhead thing, like the thing that clips on the table and does overhead shots. So I apologize. I don't know where it is. And also I just didn't feel like, sometimes with the overheads, like I felt like I would have to, I don't know. Sometimes it's more work than what I want to do, but I literally can't find the thing. So I apologize. This is it. But moving along. I have my Makeup by Mario Ethereal Eyes, which is of course brand new. Like I'm keeping, you know, I love this palette. I do. However, the more and more use that I'm getting out of it, I'm realizing like, you don't need it. You don't need it. I probably didn't need it, you know, but I have it. What can you do? Like I have eyeshadows that can give me almost spot on similar looks in other palettes. So, you know, probably should have like waited on that purchase a little bit, but you live and you learn. Okay, one I'm getting rid of is this, the Rach Loves Pixie highlighter palette. This is so stupid, you guys. Why did I buy this? I don't know. I don't know who I was when I bought this, why I thought I would even use this. Like, there's no way I'm ever gonna use these two as highlights. That's just not, that one's so dark. And you know, I could be like, oh, it would look cute as an eyeshadow, but I don't do that. I'm never gonna do that. So I'm just getting rid of it. Like I don't use it. Another one that I think I'm ready to get rid of, and I've been going back and forth on this in my mind. But I think I'm ready to get rid of this. Okay, the Jaclyn Hill Divine Neutrals palette with Morphe. She came out with this last year. I mean, it's gorgeous. It really is. It's undeniably gorgeous. I like the variety in these neutrals a whole lot better than the Juvia's Place. I even like kind of the formula of this a little bit better than Juvia's Place, if I'm being honest. But again, I just don't need it. I just don't need it. Like I have neutrals and browns so many times in my collection. Like how many different shades of brown does a bitch need? I'm keeping my Anastasia Jackie Aina palette because duh, like this is, it's just iconic and it will always be in my collection. I'm keeping my ABH Norvina palette for obvious reasons. This is like my favorite palette of all time. If I'm not gonna go into it, if you've been here, you know, it's my favorite. Okay, I'm torn on this. I think I might be ready to get rid of this. However, I just want to say this palette was so slept on. Carly Bybel did not get her roses for this palette. I have always loved every look I've gotten with this palette. However, this shade broke. This like gold shade that was in here, that was one of my favorite shades because it was almost like it was a very textured, like almost antique gold shade, which I love. But now that it's broken, I'm so crazy. Like now that it's broken, I want to just get rid of the whole palette. I think like the whole palette's ruined. But I love this. I don't even know if they still sell this. I truly have no idea, but I think I'm ready to get rid of it, but it has served me well. Another one I'm definitely getting rid of. This is another Doll 10 palette. It's called the Glam Goddess. It is kind of like it's like a face palette. So you've got eyeshadows, highlighter, blush. I've never used this. This came in a set. It came with, I think, a mascara, an eyeliner, a blush, a lip product, and I kind of wanted to try all those other things, and this came with it. It just doesn't like do anything for me, even though it's beautiful. Like it's beautiful neutrals, and I know that I love the Doll 10 formula because I love that other palette, but I just don't need this. I've never used it. Somebody that I know will love that palette. The Pat McGrath Celestial Odyssey. This is the holiday palette from this year. which again, I know you know what it looks like, but here it is. I mean, undeniably pretty. It's undeniably pretty. It's just, as I've said before, it's not really like my favorite. And that's it. But I'm not ready to get rid of it. It's beautiful and I do want to use it more. Okay, here's 3 palettes that I have together. I only got 3 of the Sweet Shop palettes. These are the only 3 that like I really thought I would use. These palettes are so cute, you guys. Like, this was such a cute launch, right? So I have the orange sorbet, which I've really loved. Admittedly, I have only used each of these palettes maybe once or twice. Like, monochromatic, bright colored looks are just not something that I really do. But I did do a monochromatic orange look with this that was one of my favorite looks. I love orange eyeshadow on me. I don't know why. I just think it's gorgeous. And I don't think I'm ready to get rid of this. I don't know if I'm ready to get rid of any of these. I really love these. This is the pistachio, the green palette. I know you guys have seen these like 1,000 times over. This is hands down probably one of my favorite, like, most beautiful green shimmers that I have ever seen in my life. It's so pretty. This is one of my favorites too, the Cotton Candy. Now, I know that I said I don't really do pinks, but something about like the pinks and purples in this palette and the tones of them, I love. I love the way these look on me. And they're so easy to use. Like, I love the formula, so I'm keeping. Also gonna keep my Corte Rosa. This is the only Sigma palette that I even have left, but this is just so my aesthetic. This is like me in a color story. And this formula is like insanely good. Insanely good. So I need to use it more, but I'm gonna keep it. Let's do my ColourPop palettes because I do have those together here. I don't know if I'm ready to get rid of these either. I don't have too many ColourPop palettes. I really don't get excited about a whole lot that they do. I do have the Mandalorian palette. I liked this one better than the Yoda one. I'm not a Star Wars fan. Like, please, I don't know who any of these people are. But I like this color story. Something about it I just really like. And ColourPop formula is good. It's not the best formula out there, but it works. And I'm not ready to get rid of that. The Tinkerbell Sprinkle a Little Magic, I'm also not ready to get rid of. I do like this color story a lot. I think that it's well done. It's obviously overwhelmingly green, but I think that it's grounded really well with these mattes. So I'm gonna keep that. I'm also gonna keep my At Forest Sight palette. I actually just sat down last night and swatched these again, and I was shocked. Like, I don't remember the mattes being so silky smooth. Like, I really don't. The only thing that I'm not like too impressed with in this palette is this evergreen color. It's very lackluster in my opinion, but I love Raw Beauty Kristi. You know, this collection was so exciting when it came out, and every time I've used that palette, I've loved my looks and I want to use it more. Now, this one I think I'm gonna get rid of. This is the So Very Lovely palette. Yeah, I don't need this. I don't even know what I was thinking when I bought this. I think I watched somebody's like favorite ColourPop palettes of the year, and that was on the list, and I don't know. I just bought it, and I think I've used it like once or twice, and I do not like it. And my last ColourPop palette, which I'm not getting rid of, is the Barbie palette, Malibu Barbie. I haven't used this palette at all, but does that mean I'm gonna get rid of it? No, because I am forever obsessed with Barbie. And I'm just not ready to get rid of it. Like, how pretty is this? Like this, I absolutely think of Barbie when I see that color story. It's so cute. My two Flower Beauty palettes, I'm absolutely keeping, even though the Jungle Lights one is shattered. Even though my purple shade is totally shattered, it's okay. It was like my least used one anyway, but these are like, you know, like, let me stop because I talk about these all the time. They're like the best shadows out there. My Desert Lights, I used this just this weekend and got complimented on my eye look. I'm telling you, every single time. Oh, I don't know what to do with her, you guys. Okay, this is my Paulina and Blush Tribe palette. Blush Tribe doesn't exist anymore. Paulina is a creator. Sorry, I had to move. She's a creator again that I found in 2020, and I instantly fell in love with her and her channel and her content, and I like binged everything she had. When I found out she had a collab palette, I like ran and tried to find it anywhere I could. I finally found this on Glam Raider. I paid so much to get it shipped here from Australia. I waited so long for it, and it finally showed up on my birthday in 2020. So I know that sounds stupid, but for some reason, like I feel, I don't know, I feel like happy when I look at this palette. It makes me happy. I have probably admittedly only used it maybe 3 or 4 times in the 2 years that I've had it, 2.5 years. But I really do like it. I like the formula. Like I don't use these colors. You know, like if I'm being honest with myself, I just don't. I don't use these. But I love Paulina. You know, I don't think I need to have her palette to be reminded of how much I love her. So I'm gonna let it go. Unfortunately, I'm gonna let it go. She's another one who hasn't posted in a while, but I'm pretty sure she's pregnant. I think the last time she posted, she was saying she was having a baby. So happy for her. My Adept and Heather Austin palette. Love this. I got this summer and I have just had a ball using it. It's so, so fun. The mattes are not my favorite. They're not my favorite. I kind of wish the mattes were a little bit different in here, but nonetheless, I like it. I'm glad I finally got my hands on some Adept shadows. I've heard good things about them. My KKW palette. So this is the camo palette. You guys, KKW Beauty doesn't exist anymore, and I don't know that it's ever going to. I don't know that it's coming back. I don't know what to do with this either. I really love this palette. It's like the palette that I hate to love because I really don't want to support Kim K. But it's so pretty. It's so damn pretty. However, I don't know. Just like as I'm looking at it, I'm like, is it though, bitch? Like, is it really that special? I don't think so. I think I can get these, you know, it's a camo palette. It's greens and browns. I think I can get it elsewhere. So I'm going to say goodbye to that too. And I'm going to be okay with that. I have another face palette in here. Okay. My Danessa Myricks Light Work. I love this. I'm absolutely not getting rid of this. This is gorgeous. These are highlights that I have used on my eyes. They look beautiful. No, not getting rid of that. I'm also gonna keep my KVD Edge of Reality eyeshadow palette. I think this palette was slept on too, quite frankly. People like loved to hate this palette, but it's low-key so good. It's so good. The mattes are fantastic. The shimmers are fantastic. I love this palette, so I'm definitely keeping that. I have the Danessa Myricks Lightwork Volume 3, the Infinite Light palette. Ugh, you guys, I'm gonna keep this, okay? I'm just gonna say that. I've used this once, and this was like over $100. And that sounds terrible to say out loud. I hate myself for that, but super, super pretty. I mean, I love like the artistry of this. I just wish, in hindsight, I wish I would have waited. And I wish that we would have gotten like a smaller version of this. I actually would have loved just like the shades on top and bottom. I don't need these, and I certainly don't need them in these giant pans, you know what I mean? So I like it. I like it overall. I love Danessa Myricks, and I actually really do want to try like more of her stuff. Oh, here's a ColourPop palette. Okay, this is one of their bigger ones, the Smoke and Roses. This is really pretty, but I don't need it. Who the hell needs this? Who the hell needs a palette like this, especially when you have like 60 palettes total? Not me. I'm getting rid of it. We love her. We love her here. I am not ready to get rid of this. Again, you guys, this palette, I'm going to say it again, this palette just reminds me of a different time. This palette came out fall of 2020. I bought one for my friend Chelsea in the UK. I sent it to her, and we created looks with this, like a collab type thing. And I don't know if it was technically a collab, but we talked about creating looks. And yeah, it just reminds me of that. And I'm not ready to get rid of it. This color story isn't like really me anymore, but sorry, I have a phone call coming in. I needed to see who it was. They can wait. But the shimmers, the shimmers are beautiful enough for me to keep it for the time being. And you know I'm keeping this, okay? I'm not gonna harp on about it. I know you know what she looks like, but here it is. I'm keeping it because I still really like it. And I know, like, I don't like supporting Jaclyn Hill, okay? I don't think that she's like really a good person, and I don't think she's like an ethical business person. But I love the palette, and I'm keeping it, and that's just what it is. Let me count up how many I'm getting rid of. Oh, hang on. Let's circle back to this. Okay. I think I'm gonna keep this for now. I'm gonna let it go one more declutter, and we will reassess next time, but it's gonna stay for now. So bear with me, let me count all this up. Okay, you guys, I'm getting rid of 14 palettes. I feel really good about that, just because coming into it, I didn't know how many I was gonna get rid of at all, like period. So I'm happy with 14. I am gonna let my daughters and friends go through these. They will go to homes where they will be loved. Hey guys, I was just editing, and I was like putting my palettes away and realized that I forgot. Oh, don't mind my crazy hair today, guys. I left out 3 palettes. So my Kaleidos Flower Punk, I will be keeping. I know you know what it looks like. I'm keeping that because it's unique to my collection, and it's fairly new, like within the last year, and I just haven't used it enough. So keeping it, but I think I'm finally ready to get rid of my Futurism palettes. So I'm just ready. I haven't reached for these. I mean, they're gorgeous, and I hate to do it, but I'm just not using them. Like, I don't want to keep stuff just for the sake of keeping it. So I'm getting rid of my Astro Pink. Is that what it is? Yeah, and then the Electro Turquoise. They just gotta go. So that's 2 more, bringing my total to 16 decluttered palettes. But that's it. I feel really good about that. Now the goal is always to, like, you know, try to not let my collection fill back up again. That's always the struggle, but I hope you enjoyed watching. Give me a like, subscribe. If you did, I would love to have you stick around for more content, but until then, take care of yourselves and take care of each other, beauties.